This shit ain't for kids, bruh. What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends X-Men Age of Apocalypse Wave Sugarman Build-A-Figure Series Sugarman Action Figure Review. Before I get into everything, if you could please drop a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to hop on my X-Man figure giveaway. This is the last chance to do it, as my next video will be the ranking video and I'll announce the winner, so check out my X-Man review for full details. Now with that said, I'm gonna hit you with that 1-2 punch of Xmanny87 story time, and then we'll take a close look at Sugarman. Sugarman first appeared in Generation Next issue number 2 in 1995, titled Hither Comes the Sugarman, and was created by Scott Lobdell and artist Chris Bachalo. Sugarman's origin for the most part is shrouded in mystery. One thing that is known is that he was a student of Mr. Sinister from that world of Earth 295 Age of Apocalypse, and then he would eventually go his own way to become a master in genetics as he set a science facility in Niagara Falls. In that base, he would regularly torture and perform inhuman experiments on others. Disturbingly enough, it was later revealed that he molested children enslaved in the pens. He worked under Apocalypse, who would require his aid in the human working camps at the Seattle core facility. He enters Earth 616 after the attack on Apocalypse's citadel when going through the Macron crystal by shrinking himself down to size, and goes into hiding, living out his days in his lab, which then affects the events of the X-Men's timeline. He eventually finds his way back home into the Earth 295 and tries to create a super virus that'll wipe out all of mankind on Earth 616, but was seized by Nate Gray, aka X-Man, and the New Mutants. In an attempt to escape, my girl Danny Moonstar fires an arrow into his tongue, pinning him down to the current 616 reality, and was taken into custody. After that, the character faded into obscurity again and nothing was heard. As for powers and abilities, he has superhuman strength and is a tenacious fighter who can battle several opponents at once. That's mainly due to his 4 arms equipped with razor-sharp claws while wielding his signature weapons of a hammer, an axe, or mace. In addition, he can also utilize firearms simultaneously on top of that. He has a razor-sharp teeth and a razor-sharp tongue that contains bioenergy that's capable of piercing stone, steel, acids, and can even pierce non-solid things. Let me repeat that. Non-solid things. What the shit does that even mean? The creators were definitely high off a certain white powder that was not sugar. He has super smell that could detect fear and foreign chemicals, body mass manipulation, and regeneration. For a lame-ass character, they sure gave him some serious powers and abilities. In other media, he appears as a boss battle in the X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse video game. He's also featured in the Marvel Avengers Alliance game in Season 2 Mission 1. And in action figures, he was part of the Toy Biz Vintage X-Men Age of Apocalypse Mutant Monsters line of the 90s. And now making his Marvel Legends debut as a Build-A-Figure. Definitely one of the most bizarre, disturbing, creepiest oddball villains in Marvel lore that you probably never even heard of. Sugarman has appeared in a total of 219 issues. Now taking a look at Sugarman, I gotta say, wow, this is an outstanding Build-A-Figure. I mean, this guy is chunky and he's massive and he's a little bit on the heavy side as well. Now I hope you guys enjoyed my story time, but I remember growing up in the 90s reading the AOA comics. This character made some weird ass noises. Ba wheat grana wheat nini bang. Whoops, wrong franchise. Na 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 na. But anyways, he had these speech bubbles having to describe the sounds he was making, like slap slap dim slee, chee hee, snort 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 sniff. God, this character is so lame to me. But I always said, whether I dislike a character or find the character lame, if a figure of that character is awesome, I'll always give credit where credit is due. And this figure is freaking awesome. From top to bottom and all around, this figure is absolutely insane, man. And the way this character looks always reminded me of that damn troll from the Ernest Scared Stupid movie. Ew, ew, ew. My 90s people will know what I'm talking about. Now taking a very close look at Sugarman, brows on fleek. And the eyebrows are actually a separate sculpted piece onto the head, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, man, crazy bushy eyebrows right there. I like the orange eyes, that's really cool, and then you get like purple shading around the eyes. Oh, that's beautiful. He got his hair on top right there, and it looks kind of, you know, spiky. Looks really, really good. The sculpt's just impressive here. And then you get like devil-like horns there, or just freaking horns, but man, they look nicely detailed, nice color. Is out of this freaking world. Look at the way they sculpted that big ass nose of his. And then you get warts throughout his face, so you get one there and there and you know, some on his chin right there. Dude got like freaking 3 chins. But man, this is just impressive. You got the razor sharp teeth, and if you look closely, his mouth, like they sculpted the inside of his mouth too. Like, how awesome is that? And then you get like this 5 o'clock shadow beard, so you see some shadows on top of his lips, and then right there under the jawline. And his tongue is freaking sick, man. Nicely sculpted. Has this zigzag kind of shape to it, and as you can see, there are some glossy bits here on the tongue, which I like. Gives it that slimy looking feel. And it goes under the tongue. Just looks absolutely disgusting, man. He's got these leather looking like suspenders, so that's really cool. You get some pins right there, and you get some sculpting throughout, buckles painted. Looks good for the most part. There's just no escaping this guy's face when you're looking at him. There goes another wart right there on top of his eyebrow too. Missed that earlier. Looking at the arms, we get 4 arms with this guy, and it's not often where we get a character with multiple arms in Legends form. As you can see, he has like 2 more warts right there on his arms. Got some veins. And it looks like he has sculpted hairs on his arms, and you guys know that that really irks me right there. But I'll let it slide with this figure because the way this character looks, it just fits. He looks rough and rugged, and especially when you take a look at his back right there, there's more hair, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so impressive. You get these buckled wristbands on each of the arms, so they're all there. You also get more warts on the top right arm right there, so and just keeping it consistent throughout right there. Wow, you could just... This figure is just so damn impressive. For his hands, he's got 4 hands, all different, so this one is open. He has a gripping hand to wield his hammer, and he's got another open hand, this time with a pointing finger, and he can also hold the hammer in this hand. And lastly, he has a closed-fisted hand. The bottom right hand, which holds his weapon, does not have any rings on them, but the rest of the hands, they do. Taking a look at that one right there. Kiss the rings, bitch. Now taking a look at the back, he has one hairy-ass back, man, and sculpted all around, but in the middle, you have a darker shade, and it's kind of hard to notice right now, because again, my lights are bright, so if I turn the exposure down, you can see it a lot more. Then he has this reddish-brownish harness on his back, and it goes all around to the front, but on the side you can see the stitching kind of sculpted there, so that's really cool. And then right there on the front, all the way to the top of the arm, as if it were a tank top, but you know, the suspenders here, they cover that. Then on the right side of the strap, he has a holster to hold his accessory, which we'll take a look in a few. And then you can see more of that stitching right there. Really cool. Look at that sweet ass of Sugar Man. Oh my god, that looks terrible. It looks like his back sucked up his butt. This guy has a camel toe for a butt crack. And what's impressive is this guy has a waist swivel, and it doesn't look like that from afar, but man, that is... I'm happy about that. I wish they gave us this waist swivel for other figures that had multiple arms. Aww. And look at that, the rest of the legs, new sculpt. It's all like in this blue color. It's got some wrinkles. No extra paint, just all blue. But, you know, you even get a knee swivel here, so that's really cool. You get this feet right here. And you get the peg holes on the upper part of the feet this time. As for accessories, he comes with this really big hammer that's packed in with Dark Beast, and it says Sugar on the front, and this looks like one big-ass Mjolnir hammer. Now, comparing it to the 80th anniversary Mjolnir, this one looks like it belongs to a 1/6 scale figure, you know? It makes this one look like a baby Mjolnir. But yeah, man, this is pretty dope. You got the strap sculpted around the handle, so that's really cool. You know, got the word Sugar right there, and you get a lot of swirls going on right here. But what's really cool, you see some cracks on there, so that is super dope. Some texturing on the side, and some more cracks are visible. And you know, you can hold it with this hand if you want to put it on this one, or just put it on the other open hand. So it's up to you where you would like to place the hammer. And for storage, that strap that I pointed out before with the holster, you could just slide it in there like so. Now, you could do this way or this way. I prefer this way, it's much easier. Doing it this way will definitely, you know, get in the way of arm movement. So now you have another display option, which is really cool, but just a heads up, don't keep it in there for too long, because as you can see, it'll cause a warp right there. So now it's cool that they gave us the hammer, but they didn't give us an axe. You see, Marvel Legends Ares doesn't look like his normal traditional axe, as it's supposed to have the same handle. Wish they gave us that, but hopefully they'll give it to us later down the line, packed in with another character. Who knows? Now, to show you some really cool things with this guy, if you want to switch his arms around, say you want this hammer on top here, just simply pop the arms out, and now you just switch things up for a display. So this is really cool. Another cool thing I wanted to show you is that he can hold multiple figures at once. So don't judge my posing here. I'm just trying to get through this quickly as possible. And there you go. He has the weight to support all these figures on him. So that looks really cool. Also, another fun thing is that his tongue can serve as an accessory. So it can basically hold a figure up. So just to put Jean Grey there. Come on, Jean. Yeah, you see that? That is really cool. Or if you want, on this tip of the tongue, boom, right there. Maybe he could hold another character, you know. Yeah, look at that. Wow, he could hold two characters at once with his tongue. So that is pretty cool. Or this hand up here can hold a character's foot. So let's take Wild Child right there. Boom, look at that. So you could have a really, really cool display going on with this guy. So it's always cool to display a figure that can hold multiple figures for a fight display. And if you want him trying to eat someone's head off, I don't know, you could probably put someone's head in that tongue, or you can actually fit it right there in his mouth. So yeah, you could do something gruesome like that. Now, to cover articulation with Sugar Man, both his top arms move that far up, and they move down, and they rotate. You know, this bottom part of the arms will block it from rotating fully, but you could work your way around it, you know, just go off to the side in an angle. And the bottom arms move that far up, down, and they rotate. You just got to move this arm out of the way, move the top ones out of the way, and you could get a full rotation right there. You got the shoulder swivel on all arms, bicep swivel on all arms, double jointed elbows on all arms, and they have the wrist swivel and the wrist hinge on all arms. You got a waist swivel. His legs move only that far apart, and they kick up that high and kick back that far. Upper thigh rocks around a little bit. You got the thigh swivel, knee swivel, single jointed knees, and definitely no heel to the sugary ass. And his ankles move up that far, down that low, and all around ankle rockers. Now for some comparisons, here is Sugar Man next to Cable. And since he had run-ins with the New Mutants, here he is next to Danny Moonstar. Danny's one of my X-Men bays. Here he is next to the Warlock Build-A-Figure. Here he is next to the Holocaust Build-A-Figure. And finally, here he is next to the rest of his wave mates to finish out the wave. Alright guys, and now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness. The sculpt wins all over here. I'll say it over and over again that this is an outstanding bath and one of Hasbro's greatest sculpted figures ever in their history of the Legends line. Kudos to Hasbro for pulling this off, as this character has one of the trickiest physiques to work with in an action figure form, and they made it happen here. This is what makes me such a big fan of this hobby. When characters you think, question, or doubt how they can pull something like this character or any character with an abnormal physique, they end up executing it successfully, completely erasing those thoughts ever crossing our minds. I've said it many times that if a character that I hate, dislike, or find very lame, if they make a great figure out of it, then I'll give credit where credit is due. Hasbro takes all the credit here. And if you feel that way too, it's okay. It's okay to like a figure that you think the character is lame, because it shouldn't be stressful to like anything. The proportions are great and the articulation fits for the proportions of this character. The paint job is excellent. The accessory is cool, and I wish he came with an axe, but the fact that you can utilize his arms to hold other figures or swap them around is a great alternative. The tongue is also great to hold the figure by the leg, arms, head, whatever you want. The play factor is strong, and so is replay value. I think this figure now holds a special place as being one of the greatest Legends baths ever made, and will continue to hold that place for a very long time, as I see this being an instant holy grail. Now I kick it back to you guys. What do you guys think of this Build-A-Figure? Who would you like to see next as an AOA bath? I know a Holocaust update is obvious, but for change, I love to see an AOA Colossus. Something about that big brute looking like a ninja always looked badass to me. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Get your Marvel Legends X-Men Age of Apocalypse wave at Big Bad Twist War. Link is in the description below. Check out my website, xmanny87.com, to view my photo gallery and merchandise. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.